Welcome to School Leader Vibes, a podcast where three friends from high school who are now in charge of running high schools come together to discuss the world of educational leadership one story at a time. Today, Jordan, Matt, and I share some of the interactions we've had with students throughout our careers that have inspired us and helped us evolve into the educators and leaders we are today. Thanks for joining us as we celebrate the impact our awesome students have had in developing our leadership. Let's go.
They closed the city of Hamilton ranks just now.
It's pretty serious.
Crazy.
Are you worried?
I don't have anything tonight.
I
actually have a free night.
Here with Subaru, so it's like all-wheel drive. Like Subaru owners typically are excited over like the weather. Like they just kind of.
I like to try to slide in the corner, and it just auto corrects. I'm like, I can't even do it, right?
It auto corrects.
Yeah, it just won't let me.
It does it.
Yeah.
Nice. So how's everyone's day today?
Pretty good.
It's been a good week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's been a great week.
Yeah, it's
Right, second week of semester 2. I've had a good start.
I find that with SEM too. It's like your second marriage almost, where the honeymoon is a lot quicker, it's shorter. You settle into reality a lot faster, right?
Well, because you're already into it too. It's not like
Yeah.
you're coming off summer holidays.
Yeah. Where it's like in September, there's a 2-week stretch or 3 weeks, so things are driving. Where old habits appear pretty quickly in SEM too. Right?
Oh, that's true. I see what you're saying.
yeah, they do. Like for some kids, it's like first 2 days is like, yeah, woo, good job, and the next day you see the little shades of what happened 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. It's like
here we
here we go.
They're like, hey, I'm gonna be different this semester. I've recommitted to going to class or whatever it is, right? And
But you love that.
They struggle with that
You love
commitment.
that sentiment, right? But you know they
Yeah.
have they
it's
have
like
challenges. But the fact that they are hopeful is the best part.
well,
It's like
that's
me,
what I like about.
I'm gonna go to the gym, right? You're gonna go to the gym. I'm
Just
eat
gonna
a
say.
salad, and check out how I look. But I'm clearly not going to the gym or eating salad. So
Yeah, I was just gonna use that
I have the
analogy for you too.
intention.
Yeah, no, it's like they can use the New Year's resolution SEM too. It's the best part of high school, right?
Yeah.
So you get that clean slate in a way for those students, and semester 2 flies.
It is the best
It
part.
does.
And we had the benefit of living in a northern climate where like there's always the potential of like bus cancellation or a snow day,
Yeah.
which we're on the cusp of
We're on
right
the
now.
eve of one, right? Are we on the
Potentially,
eve of one?
Right?
Well, I think we just jinxed it.
We do.
I think we're fine.
Yeah,
We're
my
fine.
daughter was sharing some superstitions they do. Like, what's the one? Put an ice cube in the toilet. You heard about this?
No, I've heard of a couple. Yeah.
It wasn't that, though, eh?
We've so our daughter, when she was in grade 3 or grade 4, she wore her pajamas backwards because apparently it's a thing, right? And like it was just.
What happened the next
Yeah, your kid's walking around with your pajamas all backwards, and you're like, is that on purpose? Like, what's going on here?
Whatever works.
What happened? At work?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
know. I gotta go work anyways.
Fair.
Right? Like it's.
It doesn't make a
Yeah.
difference.
In
to
our
me.
It does make a
jobs-
difference for us.
In our jobs, we're always working anyway. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
What are we talking about today? What's the deal? We got
How are you guys all feeling that now that our Insta is kind of exploding with some younger subscribers there? How are you feeling about that?
at first I was taken back a little bit.
Yeah,
It's like I don't know about this, but then
we're like rock stars now.
oh yeah, rock stars for sure, for sure. Actually, some of the commentary has been hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, in person.
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys doing? what do you even like? What do you think you're doing?
Yeah.
And then when they explain it, like, oh, okay, maybe I guess I'll unfollow.
Yeah.
Because the first video for the kids probably pretty cool. Like, oh, look at there's my principal up there,
Yeah.
looking kind of normal and silly.
Yeah.
And then they realized like maybe that not every podcast is being silly.
Mhm.
So they wanted to know what it was about. They're curious, which is a great thing. Matt and I talked about that a little bit. That they're curious, and the fact that they thought enough to follow or like something. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So you don't have to. It's public. You don't have to like anything.
Right.
You could just like kind of creep in the shadows if you really wanted. But the fact that it is kind of cool. What do you think?
Yeah, and just realized that, hey, like our principals love their job. Like that's
Yeah.
what a student said to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys really like your job, and I would share the same sentiment as you. But you're not really sure at first, especially, and we've had some funny interactions here. But it's all been positive, and they're like, "That's
To
cool."
your face, anyway.
They're like,
right?
"Well, yeah," but you know
That's
what?
fine. That's
Genuinely,
fine.
they're like, that's actually pretty cool. I don't know if they think it's cool that they feel like we're somebody because we have a podcast and 4 people are listening.
Yeah,
But-
maybe they don't know,
Yeah.
right? But like we already kind of, I think, came to the understanding that if we're putting something out there publicly, we're totally susceptible to being memed, copied, intimidated,
Yep.
ridiculed,
Yeah.
So we kind of accepted that. But it's kind of neat to hear feedback that's contrary to that. Feels good a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, what do you think?
You gotta take risks.
Absolutely.
And sometimes part of putting yourself out there is where you'll see those relationships with kids getting built, and they see you in a different light. They see you in a whole other setting, and all the feedback I've gotten was positive. And
It's awesome.
And I think it's cool that I get to work with two guys I went to high school with, and
Awesome.
we're now in charge of running a high school. So yeah, it just goes to show you that everything I do, like, I love my job, and everything I do is to help benefit kids. It's to help inspire leaders in schools and to give them something to think about, some food for thought.
Absolutely. I think it's a very safe thing to say that if we didn't really like what we do or love students and what they could become, that we wouldn't be doing this on our own free time. Because we do
100%.
not do this on company time. We do this in the little recesses of time that we have between our families and our jobs, which are very busy, because we care enough to put it out there so that people can see there's a joy in the role. Because we do feel it. It's hard sometimes. Some days are hard, but it's there enough that we want to share it with people. And I think that's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
And we get to hang out.
That's a big part of
Right
it.
there we go too.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a wicked bonus.
We would always hang out, but it was a lot less scheduled, where I actually do enjoy this more because it's
awesome.
it's in our calendars. We hang out on certain days, and we take
awesome.
a couple pods.
Find the
and
time.
We connect, and
Yeah.
and I learned tons off of you guys, so it's great. I don't know,
Likewise.
Likewise.
contributing
Yeah.
to you guys, but
No, I think we've been learning from each other for years, to be honest.
yeah, it's good.
One way or another, right?
For sure. So today, what are we doing?
We're talking about kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that they're constantly giving me feedback in terms of what I'm doing and how I'm operating in my role, and really they do have a lot of influence into how you respond and how you develop and how you grow as a leader. I want to dedicate this to all the new subscribers that are from Gen Alpha.
Hold on. Do you think they made it
Is
this
Gen
far
Alpha?
though? Do you think they've
No.
listened this long?
No.
They're not that deep into the catalog.
Not a
Yeah.
chance. Not
No,
a chance.
but it's still good for staff to hear that perspective too.
Yeah, 100%. So who's gonna go first and talk about a story where a kid is influenced, or some examples of where kids have influenced our leadership?
You guys are just looking at me. Eh?
We're both pointing.
Yeah.
We're
Kick it
both
off?
pointing at Matt.
Yeah.
Kick it off. Okay.
That's the quiet, serious, right? He's
Yeah.
very pensive.
Yeah,
I like that about you.
Internalize it all. So
Yeah.
I would just say from time in the classroom, thinking about the way I taught was very teacher directed, teaching math. And then when we, Delmar, you and I thought a lot about how we can teach differently. And actually, we had a lot of conversations about that too. Like on the side while you're teaching phys ed and we
I
were
was just
teaching
interested
math.
in stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like
He was
lots.
always taking it around.
like,
Like, what are you doing? Go play dodgeball.
like
I'm like, no, but that's pretty cool.
like lots of conversations about
Yeah.
those things while we're all classroom teachers. And it goes to show you, like, again, we were trying to just make what's best for students. But then thinking about, okay, giving them a lot of agency in the classroom, and we can talk about it all, but without going too deeply, making them be the leaders in the class and getting that idea of like that intergenerational leadership. Kids have a lot to offer. And then I think of a couple of students or a couple of moments in the class where students really took the lead, and just two stick out, but just one where they were really struggling to factor in grade 10. I didn't give them the method of factoring, and a student or a group of students figured it out, and like the light bulbs went off all around the room, and then these students ended up teaching everyone factoring.
Yeah.
And it was just like I think about that regularly, that how that happened, and that's such a complex topic in math in
Yeah.
grade 10,
Yeah.
right? A lot of students have trouble grasping it. And then because those three students taught everyone else that day, everyone got it.
Right.
Because they learned from each other. And it was just like, sometimes we just need to get out of the way and listen to students and let them, play with things and explore and make their own meaning of things rather than us make the meaning for them. And now I see that, in the office too, when I talk to students or talk to different groups of students, they need the opportunity to learn and make meaning for themselves, and then bring that however they want, let it manifest however they want to, even shape the direction of the school, right, and where the school goes.
Yeah.
That was an incredible moment in
Yeah.
class.
It's really telling how the role of a teacher has really changed. If you're running your classroom in a way of you're the giver of knowledge, or the kids have to go to you for content, like they have something in their pocket that's far more powerful, and it's got unlimited access to info, right? So the role of the educator is really turn into the coach or the facilitator, and to kind of guide the conversations and gear the conversations. And you're right, like I've experienced those aha moments where kids are now teaching each other, and they're using their own phrases, their own language, like it's in student-friendly terms, right? And it just sticks a lot better.
Yeah. So how do you guys, like, as as administrators now, like, how do you provide students with opportunity to be leaders or have agency, where they feel like they feel their value in the school?
A great question. Do you want to tackle
Sure.
that? Or you want me to-
I think a big part of it is finding ways to solicit student voice. And like what forums are you going to collect that in? It can come through a lot of like student groups, but also like surveying kids, finding out what their interests are, what they want to see happen in the school. I've done that in a few different pockets. It's hard to do on a whole school level in big school for sure, but there are different groups that can kind of facilitate that to find out like what's the will of the students regarding this issue or that issue, and like even if it's like theme for a dance or something, like who comes up with it? Is that one person, or is it like people put ideas forward, they pick one, that kind of idea of just kind of crowdsourcing what people want. One time we did a big survey when I was at a previous school about like how students best get information to find out which way we'd be pushing out information to students. And what everyone thought, like staff-wise, thought was effective, the students were like, no, that ain't effective. Like, why are we doing that? Like, and it was morning announcements. Which we still do a lot here. But they were like, I don't hear that. But if my teacher told me, I listen. Like, come out to this club or that club. That hits. But over the PA with the voice that, might not be as personal connection, it gets lost on them.
Yeah.
And it was overwhelming. They said, like, it just goes.
Yeah, it's...
So, but we just assume that we said it, so they get it. It's not true, right? So I think finding ways to solicit student voice and letting students kind of drive the initiative on these extracurricular things or these groups that are existing outside of classrooms.
Yeah.
Classroom's a different story. I think every teacher can have a way to do that. But these outside groups, they really do need to be student driven. When staff kind of lead the agenda, it doesn't always meet the need of students either.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I invest a lot of time with our co-preses and Student Activities Council, or SAC, and I've kind of changed how I approach our conversations with them. I now meet with our co-preses every week, and a lot of our conversations isn't just about like, hey, we're thinking of doing this event, we're thinking about doing that event to get admin approval. It's more of how are you onboarding, how are you getting your team, like how's your team doing, how are you building that team, and so far at the events, knock on wood, like they've been, like the kids are all hands on deck and they're there at the start till the end with very few issues. And I'm encouraging our co-preses that, hey, if you hear about a workshop or if you hear about a leadership opportunity, even within the school, that you want to get more info on, like I'll hook you up, because I find that they have a great pulse. And in my past roles in past schools, I fell into that trap of, they're great kids, right? The kids who are on student council tend to be the highly motivated, hard workers, high achievers, all this stuff. So they tend to be the ones that are not really ones that you invest a lot of time in, right? So having that intentional, like, I'm going to dedicate time to develop this group of kids that generally on their own, they would be fine, but to invest in them and to build their leadership, I've seen huge gains with that. And yeah, like the events have been great, positive feedback from our community as a whole. So yeah, that's something I've changed, is being more intentional on the investments of time that I put into student council.
That's fantastic points there. I was thinking as you were speaking about just developing them as leaders, that's huge, right? Because sometimes I feel that we assume they're leaders, they're high achievers, they just got it.
Right.
Well, no, they're still learning. We don't even have it. So
Right.
to expect them to have it is an unrealistic expectation, right? Mm-hmm. And oftentimes they are so good at taking care of things because they are high achievers. Mm-hmm. But having that conversation about utilizing their team is amazing, right? Yeah. Like you're actually now giving them skills to lead their own teams better instead of like just being the person doing all the work. By default, they end up doing a lot of work, and those high achievers end up taking on a lot. And it's hard to know if they're really distributing their leadership well unless you're intentional about talking about it. So that's a great idea to like develop their leadership even further, because they already got, like you said, the baseline skills that are fantastic. Mm-hmm. But now thinking about are they growing others? Are they utilizing others to achieve the big goal? That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. We always have like great activities and we have great events.
Yeah.
But the difference in when you're building those students up as leaders, that great activity, great event had a cost, which was a lot of tears, a lot of anxiety, a lot of emotion, sacrificing time towards their studies, so reduce grades even. And the flip side, when you're building them up as leaders, and they're getting everyone to kind of pitch in and do their work, you see just happy faces everywhere, and it's
a great perspective. So you got a student story?
There was one kid that really had an impact on how I approach students in general and the school community in general. Was they joined us from one of our feeder schools, and they went into the grade 9 essential class. When they joined us, they had the option of either going into the essential, the applied, or the academic stream, right? And this student went for the essential. You taught them too, right? I think, right?
I taught them as
You
well,
taught them
but
essential.
no, I didn't.
No, I taught them in essential, and then you taught them in
Must have been applied.
academic or applied.
Must have been applied.
Yeah, this student went all the way through essential, applied, and then went into the academics. And then by the time that they're in grade 12, just crushing it. It's almost like a light went off, and it was like, oh, I get this now, right? So we're talking about really challenging courses. And what really made me realize this was that if you just focus on the data, take a look at report card data, their CAT 4 scores, to get the history of it, right? But that really taught me that that's not the full story there, and to build relationships, get to know that kid, get to know what their goals are, get to know their story, into how things unfolded the way they did, because they ended up being a great student in math, and they achieved very high standards. And then that actually got us to change our whole approach, where it was we just started setting high expectations for students in those classes, where typically it would be oh, you can't challenge them as much, right? There's a lot of scaffolding and hand-holding, and it's no, if you set the bar up with the supports in place, kids want to feel successful. They want to achieve, right? They're gonna reach that bar, but they're gonna reach that bar too as if they like you. Right, it's huge. In those classes, if you build relationships, if kids like you and you challenge them, beautiful things gonna happen.
It's beautiful,
and not just curriculum, right? Because it's
connection.
There's always time to get through the curriculum. Right?
But Delmar, I think you got to talk about that student's path, knowing she came out of grade 8 and was recommended for locally developed, right, essential class, and knowing where she ended up.
Yeah.
I think you need to follow up, and
yeah.
I think you're not. I think you're being too humble about how we supported the student, right, in order to get her to where she wanted to go.
So it sounds like you're not happy with how I told the story. So if you want to,
well, I just think
tell
we
your
need.
version of it.
I think we need to say where it ended up. Yeah,
Yeah.
This whole conversation we have now around de-streaming and pathways. I think I would agree with you. This student, as we both taught her, changed our perspective on how we taught students and where students can go, and honoring each student's pathway, and trying to we moved a lot of students into higher pathways.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to acknowledge. We weren't just satisfied with a student remaining in an applied pathway or a college pathway. We really tried to elevate them into a different pathway to open more doors for them. Right.
Right. She was on the pathway for the workforce, which is okay. There's certain pathways in place for reasons.
Yeah,
right?
they're all valuable.
Yeah,
yes,
100%. There's a success in each pathway, but she went from the workplace or going into the workforce, and to going to university and is an RN now. And actually, I heard about all this was because I was at the hospital with one of my kids, the one day in Hamilton, and I'm like, wait a minute, I think I know you. And it was yeah, hey, how's it going, sir? And I'm like, wow, good for you. Yeah.
That's amazing. I was thinking, again, as you were speaking about just a philosophical perspective when you approach a student like that, or any student, right? And what you said, I just want to pick on a point there because I loved it, was about not looking at past data as a predictor necessarily of future achievement, right? Mm-hmm. So we definitely get caught up in that. We do. It's what did they do? What did they do last year? How did they do in this score? And we don't take them for what they're worth. And there's a story behind those numbers, like you said. That might not be indicative of their true ability. You don't know what gaps they had, but they're in front of you now. Mm-hmm. Now what? Mm-hmm. So that is a great testament to just dealing with what's in front of you. and trying to realize that potential,
Yeah.
not their potential from 3 years ago that they got a test on,
Yeah.
or that the class that they had last year that they maybe didn't attend that well, but like now, where could you go, kid? Like, where could you get to? But that's a mindset that is hard to foster in all staff, I think. But until you have students that you feel this with, you really see it. You're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's quantitative, right?
Yeah.
Like quantitative data is always easy to throw it into charts or throw it into like a graph, or it's easy to read it.
Yeah.
It's easy to inference stories or info from that, right? The qualitative is where it gets more challenging to put those into certain criteria, to put those into categories, right? But qualitative data, if you ask any statistician, like qualitative is what tells you it's far richer,
Story.
but it's so hard to use.
Absolutely. And the quantitative data also allows you to justify a mark similar without doing any work
Right.
as a
Yes.
staff, right? It's like, oh, like
Yeah.
that's their pattern.
No.
That's about where they're at. I'm doing a similar job that everybody else did. That's about where they're at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's almost like a built-in crutch. You agree with that?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Well, and all you want, like, thinking about your own kiddos too.
That's a tough statement, man. Oof.
Yeah. All you want is for
Sorry, I was quiet for too long.
all you want is for somebody to really believe in your kid and spark something in your kid. And we know that teachers have such an impact, like number one impact on students, and also kids see the belief that their teacher has in them, and that plays such a role, right? So to have a teacher who's inspiring and who believes that a kid can do it, have those high expectations, kids will rise to them, right?
Yeah, nice.
Anyway, Jordan,
Amazing.
let's go.
So let's do a summary here. So yours was how to inspire leaders.
Student agency. Let's call it student agency. Intergenerational leadership.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez, he wrote that down somewhere. With Brian.
It's on his hand.
Yeah.
I can see it right there. Mine was, well, I want you to come up with a name because I'm going to say just setting high expectations,
Yeah, I like that.
but you're going to.
Yeah.
Come
Well,
up with
from what I took away
something
from
more
you is
fancy.
like honoring students' pathways.
You can come up for a name with mine after I speak.
Okay.
That sound okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait until I
Okay,
hear
wait.
it first.
I've got lots of stories like we all do, right? That students that impact you or change the way that you think about things. That I could speak on. Obviously, you both know, and Matt and I coached together, did a lot of coaching, taught in phys ed, and the beautiful thing about teaching phys ed is that they're all open level courses for the most part. So you get everyone in there, and all different learning levels, all different walks of life, all in the same space, kind of working together in a certain way. And I had a student, one of my first year's teaching, and it was a big school. It was over 2,000 students. It's a big place. And I was teaching grade 9 boys phys ed, and it was middle of winter, and this school was so big that like we didn't have gym space all the time. So it was like we used to have classes assigned to like the hallway, or like
Oh, I remember that.
yeah,
Wow.
like, we're in the hallway. We had like a rotation, right?
I remember
So in
that.
this particular case, we had
I'm
to
sure
go.
other teachers love that, eh?
Oh, they loved it. We had to go outside. We were assigned to outside, and I was at that point in my career didn't really care about any of the dangers that lurked outside. I was like, whatever, like it's cold, so what? Like,
Yeah.
don't complain. I used to wear a shirt that said like no complaints, and I wore it probably more often than I should have. I wore it like every day. But anyways, that was the philosophy. Like, we got to go outside. Like, we didn't really have much choice around this school because there's nowhere else to go, so we're going outside. It was a horrible like winter day. It was brutal. Like, it was almost like a day like it's going to be tonight, like snowing, slush. It was freezing cold. And we tell students to prepare for the weather, but obviously some don't.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a new student that joined us from the Congo, and it was his third day in Canada. And we were going outside to play road hockey, right? And he, first time he's seen snow, so I had a bunch of kids complaining, like, oh, sir, we gotta go outside, blah, 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 right? And we get outside, and this kid is looking up at the sky, opening his mouth like eating the snow.
Wow.
In shorts and a t-shirt, mind you,
Wow,
when everyone
wow.
else is like this.
Yeah.
And he's just said to everyone, "This is beautiful." I was
This is
like,
the
and everyone
best thing
everyone's just like, they just picked up the hockey sticks, like, okay, sir, whatever you need to do. So like, that person in that moment was capable of doing something far more profound than I could. Like, I could have told them to suck it up, wear my no complaint shirt, like a donkey that I was. But this kid's what he did was just so impactful to the people around him, and he continued that way. Like, his whole way of thinking, like, nothing could ever be bad with this mindset, and it permeated everything he did. And from that moment on, like, he was just like a leader, and everyone just sucked up every issue they had was just because this guy was doing it. And the way he approached that day it really changed my thought on how students can contribute to a culture of a class too. So when you talk about, Delmar, like building kids up, like when you build them up and then they go act on that another way, like you're not just sending one person out on a mission. You're now influencing a bunch of people. So, a kid like that, I was like really drawn to. I'm like, this is amazing, right? So I'm building this kid up. I'm getting to know this kid. I'm learning about his story and what this kid overcame, like would blow us away, right? Like it blew me away. I'm like, this kid's lived a harder life than I might ever live.
Yeah.
And what they've seen, and they come with that attitude. Like how impactful is that, right? So yeah, my summary of this story is really just how much we can learn from our students and how much they can teach us about life if we allow ourselves to see them in that role of potentially a teacher and a leader, right? Like you said, because they can be.
I'm going to name yours gratitude.
All right.
Right? I think that when we practice gratitude, when we model that, and then kids are doing it too as well, right? Because most kids went from complaining to seeing that kid so grateful and like in awe of all the beauty and just being in this awesome country and engaging in the national sport. No, I don't know if it is the national sport.
It's lacrosse.
It's lacrosse and hockey.
But
they changed it. It's both now.
We're pretty good at
Is it
hockey.
both?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, like just that grateful heart, and then all the other kids are like, yeah, okay, it's cool. Let's play hockey, right?
It's amazing.
And I find that too as well in my role when I'm coaching kids. Like I tell them, I'm like, you are the leaders in this school, and I tell them after every meeting, I tell them, thanks again for everything you do. It's because of you that kids are getting this awesome high school experience. 100%. Your leadership is translating into these dances, these events, right? And it's because of you. So thank you on behalf of everyone. And I find that when you practice gratitude, you can get a lot out of people. Not to say that that's why you do it, is to get things out of people, but you do see a huge shift in terms of response.
But you said not to get like a reaction from people, but you truly do feel it. Like in that moment, I was like, this kid's unbelievable. Yeah. So sometimes, and we've talked about this before, you don't always follow up and tell someone that. I think that's a good lesson for people is like, if you felt it, maybe you don't say it in the moment, but like later, you're like, that was amazing. Like what you did there, that was amazing. And anyway, I can support you. I want to support you. You're a leader. Let them know. But sometimes we just don't do that next step of expressing the gratitude. Mm-hmm. That's a big one though.
Yeah.
Right? Because then it snowballs into something greater, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Amy.
It's a great story.
Right? It's amazing, man.
Kids are awesome.
They are. They are, honestly, they're the best. They teach us a lot.
Yeah, we're lucky.
Yeah. Very lucky. That's why we love the job.
Yeah.
And not to be corny, but I saw a meme yesterday on, actually, did I see one or did someone send it to me? It was like talking about Valentine's Day and like candy hearts that admin would send to teachers. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't see it.
And it was like, they were trying to make fun of admin basically, but like, know your why and all this sort of stuff, like candy hearts for teachers. Whatever. But
I want to do that now.
Oh, it's pretty funny. I'll send it to you. But like the truth is, like that really still is our why. Yeah. Like I know it sounds, it can be corny, call whatever you want, but at the end of the day, we think of the transformative experiences in school and why we do want to support teachers and have teachers be leaders is because like students are the reason why we want that, right? So whatever we can do in our roles now, it's maybe a bit different. We don't have as much direct contact, but we've got to find ways to do it. Like you're doing a great job, Delmar, of speaking with those students directly. I know we're trying to find ways to do it directly with students, but empowering staff to do it as well. They're still our why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it all comes down to it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well done, guys.
Candy heart meme loading.
That is how you're going to introduce this episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hearts.
I think that's the episode title right there.
Candy heart memes and other things.
There we go. Done.
Awesome.
Okay, can we try to do a high five, like an actual good one? Because every time we've done it, it's been
so it's got to be 1, 2. Is it singular?
I feel like we're overplanning it right now, and we're still going to crap to bed here.
Okay, let's do it. Ready? Good job, guys.
Good job. All right.
You missed
Did we do it?
Yeah, we did it.
Okay, we're good. Let's go. That's it.
Okay.
Nice job, guys.
See you next week.
See you next week. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of School Leader Vibes. We're incredibly grateful for your time and your contribution to shaping the future, one student at a time. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to connect with us on Instagram at School Leader Vibes for more inspiration. Lastly, please share the podcast with fellow leaders and educators who might benefit from these conversations. Until next time, keep vibing.